What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along. And yes, it is already time for the Galatasaray preview. The Reds travel over to Turkey to take on the side from Istanbul. It is a Tuesday night game, 8 p.m. kickoff, which means that we will be live here from 6:45 p.m. Over the course of this video, I'm going to try to give you an injury update. We're going to talk about a predicted 11. And this 11, normally I bring you what I think Arne will pick. This week might be after the defeat against Palace, making me feel a little bit extra angry. I'm going to give you the 11 that I think deserve to play the game, and you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. We'll also finish up with a score prediction, and we'll give you a bit of a fact file on our opponents as well. So look, from the injury perspective, we know Giovanni Leone has been ruled out for the remainder of the season with that ACL injury. Other than that, I don't think the manager has too many fresh injury concerns going into this one, so we should have, well, a good selection to choose from. We also know that Federico Chiesa, because of that Giovanni Leone injury, has been added to the Reds Champions League squad, so is available for selection. So let's start off with a bit of a fact file on Galatasaray, our opponents, and then we'll have a look at some of their history against the Reds and their recent results. So Galatasaray and Liverpool will meet for a fifth time in European competition, with both sides managing one victory apiece across the previous four. Galatasaray are unbeaten in their last 3 games against English opponents in European competition, winning 2 and drawing 1, with wins over Manchester United by 3-2 and Spurs by 3-2 in the Europa League in the last 2 campaigns. Galatasaray have only won one of their last 18 games in the Champions League, drawing 5 and losing 12, while they lost their opening game of this season's competition by a whopping 5-1 at home against Eintracht Frankfurt. So head-to-head wise, well, there haven't been too many recent games between Liverpool and Galatasaray. In a friendly in 2011, Galatasaray beat us by 3-0. Champions League 0-6, 0-7. It was Galatasaray 3, Liverpool 2. And in the reverse fixture, score was the same, but it was Liverpool 3, Galatasaray 2. Right, the recent form, Alanyaspor 0, Galatasaray 1. Then it was Galatasaray 3, Konyaspor 1. In the Champions League, as we mentioned, they were beaten 5-1 by Frankfurt. In fact, it was in Frankfurt. My apologies, I thought it was in Galatasaray. Then it was Eyüpspor 0, Galatasaray 2, and Galatasaray 3, Rizespor 1. So that is a fact file on our opponents and their recent results. Now let's get stuck into the important stuff. The 11 that I've gone with and why I've gone with them. This is going to be a big shake-up. So trigger warning for anybody who's expecting me to roll through with the usual selections. Like I've said, I'm a big believer in form dictating who plays games, and I think the manager needs to set the tone. So with that in mind, let's get stuck into my 11. Start off with the goalkeeper and the centre-backs, and this is normally where I say to you, no changes here, but, changes. So I've gone for, obviously, Alisson in goal, best goalkeeper in the world, nothing to worry about there. But I would play Joe Gomez in this game. It's not just us Liverpool fans that are concerned about Ibrahima Konate. I was watching Match of the Day, and even Mika Richards was talking about how jittery he looks, and it can't be rewarded. He can't just keep playing if he puts in poor performances. Yes, Joe Gomez wasn't brilliant when he came on in the League Cup against Southampton, but I can put that down to at least no rhythm there for Joe, and I would rather give him the opportunity than stick with Konate, who, one, we don't know his long-term future, like we keep saying, but most importantly, has looked jittery in half of our league games. So Alisson Becker in goal, Gomez and Van Dijk are my 2 centre-backs. The changes continue, though, at right-back and left-back. I've gone for Dominic Szoboszlai at right back and Andy Robertson at left back. And the reason is I want us to try to control this game more. And as much as I hate sacrificing Szoboszlai from his better and preferred midfield position, I do think he is our best option here at right back. One of our other right back options is in this team. More on that in a moment. But for now, that's what I'd go with. Szoboszlai at right back. The experience of Andy Robertson at left back. So a back 5 of Alisson, Szoboszlai, Gomez, Van Dijk and Robbo. Into midfield now, and again, some changes here. So I've gone for Alexis McAllister to partner alongside Ryan Gravenberch in the deeper lying positions. But then I've gone for Curtis Jones. A lot of you may be surprised by this, but I think Curtis's energy, his pressing, and his ability to find space between the lines, which is, something we were lacking in the game against Crystal Palace, maybe because of a lack of space there. But I do think Jones should get the start in this one, keeping the fresh legs and keeping the rotation going. So McAllister, Gravenberch, and Curtis Jones in midfield for me. Now we move into where the big changes are. Starting in the wide positions, as I always like to do. And again, trigger warning here. So I've gone for Frimpong on the right and Fede Chiesa on the left. Chiesa simply deserves to start. I can't be any clearer on that. He is not just knocking on the manager's door, he's kicking it down and saying to him, Gaffer, on the hot hand, pick me. And he's right. So for me, Chiesa should start. The only option was where do I start him, left or right? Well, sticking with my policy, like I've said, of rewarding players and holding others to account, I think Frimpong on the right would give us a little look at maybe what we see with him a bit further forward, maybe looking to hold that wide position, and of course a little look when Mohamed Salah goes to the AFCON of what may be in store for us. That's why I have him on the right hand side here and Chiesa on the left. I also think that the relationship there with Szoboszlai and Frimpong could be an interesting one, as Frimpong does have the pace to get up and down that flank and to get back and help Szoboszlai if needs be, particularly if Dom does drift into midfield. We know these days that Mohamed Salah doesn't have the same energy levels to get up and down like he did. So in this tricky game away from home in Europe, I think Frimpong would be the man for the job there. He wasn't good when he came on against Palace. In fact, he was awful, but again, that was coming off the bench. He hasn't had much football. He's working his way back from injury. I think this is the game to try him in. And then through the centre, well, another change here, but I think an understandable one. So I have gone for Ugo Ekitike. Of course, partly because Isak's played a lot of football and he is just coming back to match fitness. And with an eye, of course, to the game coming up against Chelsea next week. We can't play that game or go into the international break having dropped more than the 3 points we already have. So I want to keep him as fresh as we can for that one. Maybe bring him off the bench if needs be. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the 11 that I would pick if I was in charge. Alisson in goal, Szoboszlai at right back, Robertson at left back, Gomez and Van Dijk in the middle, McAllister, Curtis Jones and Ryan Gravenberch in midfield, then Frimpong, Ekitike and Chiesa. And I know there are going to be some people maybe frustrated, even angry with me in the comments, but I've tried to explain my decision making as much as I can. I do respect yours and look forward to reading your comments. But before we finish up, we got to get that score prediction right. So let's go and have a look at what I've gone for here. Call me an optimist, but I'm going for a clean sheet and a 2-0 win. Galatasaray should have given us our team talk already, or should I say the Turkish football president should have given us the team talk when he said Liverpool weren't as good a team as they used to be. If I'm Arne, I'm reminding the players of that, and it's going up on the dressing room wall. So I'm going to say the Reds go over there and get a victory by 2-0 to keep us perfect in this season's Champions League, and of course resting a few players there ahead of the game at Stamford Bridge on Saturday. Now it is over to you guys to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As always, thank you for your support. We do appreciate it, and we will have plenty of content coming up for you over the remainder of this week as we build towards another, unfortunately, and international break. So that is it from me for now. We'll talk soon. Bye bye.